Hi everyone, Kombat Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. Now, as you know, Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match is a recent 2023 direct-to-video adult animated martial arts film that is meant to feature the iconic character Johnny Cage in his own sort of movie. And keep in mind, Mortal Kombat Legends at first had two sequels, and then, it seems like from the way they're going, it might be a planned anthology series with a different character, different premise, and different story. So, the premise of the film is meant to take place in the 1980s. We see how up-and-coming movie star Johnny Cage is meant to star in his own action film Ninja Mime. We see how he learns from one of his co-workers that his co-star Jennifer Grey has gone missing. So we kind of see how, Johnny Cage and his sort of sidekick Chuck Golden sets out to look for her. And we do kind of see how, after sort of seeing how Asha as well as Kia duke it out for a scroll, we see how Johnny Cage goes from movie star to trying to prevent a future demon uprising. And I think for the most part, having a film on Johnny Cage is an interesting and a sort of unique take on Mortal Kombat, because I think most of the time Johnny Cage is a bit of a side character, and most of the time he is a bit of a main focus, but most of it is either centered around him for certain moments, because the point of Mortal Kombat X was meant to have him a little bit more like the voice of reason and helping the future generation of future defenders. The point of Mortal Kombat 11 was him much older and him sort of giving his past self advice and helping him realize that he didn't need to be this big time schmuck to get attention, and does make justifiable points. I think the point of Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat is that, he's meant to be reckless. He's meant to believe that he's got it all. But I think the point of in any future Mortal Kombat titles is meant to have him be a bit more mature, wiser, and a bit more trying to be the voice of reason. And I think it's interesting how, the film really does know what to do with the characters. Like, using the character Serena as her sisters, as, they were used in Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, which was a game for the PS1 and the N64. And at least it does treat Chuck Golden as a bit more like this enthusiastic character, and a bit like this more nerdier counterpart to Jax. And I think it taking place in the 1980s is an interesting and a kind of thing that I think hasn't been done before, because the point of the 80s with big film stars was that the 80s was a gold mine of action flicks like Rambo, The Karate Kid, also Die Hard, The Terminator, also like the Steven Seagal films. There were a time when I think people wanted big time action stars, from Mad Max to Rambo, The Karate Kid, as well as other big time action hero stuff. And I think for the most part, if they are going to be doing this like a planned anthology series, I do want to see a sort of film adaptation of basically Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero, known as Snowstorm, and could have had it focused on Bi-Han before he became corrupted and evil, or basically another one, if they ever do another one, Mortal Kombat Legends Special Forces Jax, which could have focused on the story from the PS1 game Special Forces, where Jax could be the main character in a sort of Commando Arnold Schwarzenegger story, taking on the Black Dragons to save Sonya, and making it more like a better counterpart of the PS1 era game. And I think it's clear that, yeah, after basically Mortal Kombat Battle for the Realms, it's clear that Snowblind as well as Cage Match is meant to be a planned anthology series, focusing on a different character, different setting, different plot, and different take on the series. And I think the point of each Mortal Kombat story and different game is meant to focus on a different story, a different setting, and a different premise with the character. Because, yeah, Deadly Alliance is meant to be like Liu Kang dead, Raiden gathering up the heroes to take on Shang Tsung and Quan Chi due to their alliance. I think the point of Deception is meant to be like Shevchenko's story about being young and foolish, and how, yeah, people will manipulate you into getting what they want. The point of Armageddon is meant to be a big endgame event, and I think the point of Mortal Kombat 2011 is meant to be more improving the story, but doing something more different with the timeline. And the point of Mortal Kombat is changing the story, changing the tropes, and doing something new, better, and unique on the drawing board. Because, yeah, Mortal Kombat can change itself and always knows what to put onto the drawing board. It knows what it wants to tell for a story. And yeah, the point of going with a different story, different atmosphere, a different setting, is showing a bit of a game changer and changing the playing fields in some way. So I think if you're a fan of the 80s tropes and a fan of 80s nostalgia, this is definitely your movie. So I think this one definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still enjoyable. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.